Oh, respected sadhakas, welcome, salutations to you all, to the Parabrahma Paramatma, to the Lord in all forms, to all our Rishimunis, and also Shruti Mata. Today is very auspicious day of Sri Krishna Avatara Ashtami, Prakatya Ashtami. So let us chant the Veda mantras for 5 minutes, Narayana Suktam and Vishnu Suktam. Because this is an Upanishad class, that Krishna is none but Vishnu, Vishnu is none but Narayana, he is none other than Sakshat Parabrahma Paramatma himself. So, in the chanting of these two suktams, let us invoke the reappearance of Lord in the tangible, appreciable, visual form, so that we are able to contact him, get blessed by him, and his blessings truly again revives the spiritual thought in the entire universe. Thus, all jivas are saved. We have to pray for Bhagavan's avatars to happen again and again, as soon and frequently as possible, so that the Paramarthika and Vyavaharika and Sarva Dharma Stapana happens again and again. ॐ अथ नारायणसूक्तम् ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ सहस्रशीर्षं देवं विश्वाक्षं विश्वशम्भुवम् विश्वन्नारायणं देवमक्षरं परमं पदं विश्वतः परमान्नित्यं विश्वन्नारायणगं हरिं विश्वमेवेदं पुरुषस्तद्विश्वमुपजीवति पतिं विश्वस्यात्मेश्वरगं शाश्वतगं शिवमच्युतं नारायणं महाज्ञेयं विश्वात्मानं परायणम् नारायण परो ज्योतिरात्मा नारायण परः नारायण परं ब्रह्म तत्त्वन्नारायण परः नारायण परो ध्याता ध्यानं नारायण परः यच्च किञ्चित् जगत् सर्वं दृश्यते श्रूयतेऽपि वा अन्तर्बहिश्च तत्सर्वं व्याप्य नारायणस्थितः अनन्तमव्ययं कविगं समुद्रेऽन्तं विश्वशम्भुवं पद्मकोशप्रतीकाशगं हृदयं चाप्यधोमुखम् अधो निष्ट्यावितस्त्यान्तेनाभ्यामुपरि तिष्ठति ज्वालमालाकुलं भाति विश्वस्यायतनं महत् सन्ततगं शिलाभिस्तुलं भक्त्याकोशसन्निभम् तस्यान्ते सुशिरगं सूक्ष्मं तस्मिन् सर्वं प्रतिष्ठितं तस्य मध्ये महानग्निर्विश्वार्चिर्विश्वतो मुखः सोऽग्रभुग्विभजन्तिष्ठन्नाहारमजरः कविः तिर्यगूर्ध्वमदशायी रश्मयस्तस्य सन्तता संतापयति स्वं देहमापादतलमस्तकः तस्य मध्ये वह्निशिखा अणियोर्ध्वा व्यवस्थितः नीलतो यदमध्यस्ताद्विद्युल्लेखे बभास्वरा नीवारशूकवत्तन्वी पीताभास्वत्यणोपमा तस्या शिखाया मध्ये परमात्मा व्यवस्थितः स ब्रह्म स शिवः स हरिसेन्द्र सोऽक्षरः परमस्वराट् ऋतुगुं सत्यं परं ब्रह्म पुरुषं कृष्णपिङ्गलम् ऊर्ध्वरेतं विरूपाक्षं विश्वरूपाय वै नमो नमः ॐ नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णुः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ श्रीविष्णुसूक्तम् ॐ विष्णोर्नुकं वीर्याणि प्रवोचं यः पार्थिवानि विममेरजागंसि यो अस्कभायदुत्तरगं सदस्तं विचक्रमाणस्त्रेधोरुगायो विष्णोरराटमसि विष्णोः पृष्ठमसि विष्णोष्णप्त्रेस्थो विष्णोस्योरसि विष्णोर्ध्रुवमसि वैष्णवमसि विष्णवे त्वा तदस्य प्रियमभिपाथो अस्यां नरो यत्र देवयवो मदन्ते उरुक्रमस्य स हि बन्धुरित्था विष्णोः पदे परमे मध्व उत्सः प्रतद्विष्णुस्तवते वीर्याय भृगो न भीमः कुचरो गिरिष्ठाः यस्योरुषु त्रिषु विक्रमणेषु अधिक्षियन्ति भुवनानि विश्वा परो मात्रया तनुवावृधान न ते महित्वमन्वश्नुवन्ते उभे ते विद्मरजसे पृथिव्या विष्णो देवत्वं परमस्य वित्से विचक्रमे पृथिवीमेष एतां क्षेत्राय विष्णुर्मनुषे दशस्यन्न ध्रुवासो अस्य कीरयोजनासः ऊरुक्षितिगुं सुजनिमाचकार त्रिर्देवः पृथिवीमेष एतां विचक्रमे शतर्चसं महित्वा प्रविष्णुरस्तु तव सस्तवीयान् त्वेषगह्यस्य स्थविरस्य नाम अतो देवा अवन्तु नो यतो विष्णुर्विचक्रमे पृथिव्या सप्तधामभिः इदं विष्णुर्विचक्रमे त्रेधा निदधे पदं समूढमस्य पागुं सुरे त्रीणि पदा विचक्रमे विष्णुर्गोपा अदाभ्यः ततो धर्माणि धारयन् विष्णोः कर्माणि पश्यत यतो व्रतानि पस्पशे इन्द्रस्य युज्यः सखा तद्विष्णोः परमं पदगं सदा पश्यन्ति सूरयः दिवीव चक्षुराततं तद्विप्रासो विपन्यवो जागृवागं सस्समिन्धते विष्णोर्यत्परमं पदं पर्याप्त्या अनन्तरायाय सर्वस्तोमोतिरात्र उत्तममहर्भवति सर्वस्याप्त्यै सर्वस्य जित्यै सर्वमेव तेनाप्नोति सर्वं जयते ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. Let us spend 3 more minutes and chant Narayana Upanishad also. ओमत नारायणोपनिषद ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तो सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. ॐ अथ पुरुषो ह वै नारायणो कामयत प्रजाः सृजेयेति नारायणात् प्राणो जायते मनः सर्वेन्द्रियाणि च खं वायुर्ज्योतिरापः पृथिवी विश्वस्य धारिणी नारायणात् ब्रह्मा जायते नारायणाद् रुद्रो जायते नारायणादिन्द्रो जायते नारायणात् प्रजापतयः प्रजायन्ते नारायणात् द्वादशादित्या रुद्रा वसवः सर्वाणि च छन्दागंसे नारायणादेव समुत्पद्यन्ते नारायणे प्रवर्तन्ते नारायणे प्रलीयन्ते. ॐ अथ नित्यो नारायणः ब्रह्मा नारायणः शिवश्च नारायणः शक्रश्च नारायणः द्यावा पृथिव्यौ च नारायणः कालश्च नारायणः दिशश्च नारायणः ऊर्ध्वश्च नारायणः अधश्च नारायणः अन्तर्बहिश्च नारायणः नारायण एवेदगं सर्वं यद्भूतं यच्च भव्यं निष्कलो निरञ्जनो निर्विकल्पो निराख्यात शुद्धो देव एको नारायणः न द्वितीयोऽस्ति कश्चित् य एवं वेद स विष्णुरेव भवति स विष्णुरेव भवति ओमित्यग्रे व्याहरेत् नम इति पश्चात् नारायणायेत्युपरिष्ठात् ओमित्येकाक्षरम् नम इति द्वे अक्षरे नारायणायेति पञ्चाक्षराणि एतद्वै नारायणस्याष्टाक्षरं पदम् यो ह वै नारायणस्याष्टाक्षरं पदमध्येति अनपब्रुवः सर्वमायुरेति विन्दते प्राजापत्यगं रायस्पोषं गौपत्यं ततोऽमृतत्वमश्नुते ततोऽमृतत्वमश्नुत इति य एवं वेद भरत्यगानन्दं ब्रह्मपुरुषं प्रणवस्वरूपम् अकार उकारमकार इति तानेकधा समभरत्तदेतदोमिति यमुक्त्वा मुच्यते योगी जन्म संसारबन्धनात् ॐ नमो नारायणायेति मन्त्रोपासकः वैकुण्ठभुवनलोकं गमिष्यते तदिदं परं पुण्डरीकं विज्ञानघनं तस्मात् तदिदावन्मात्रं ब्रह्मण्यो देवकी पुत्रो ब्रह्मण्यो मधुसूदनोम सर्वभूतस्थमेकं नारायणं कारणरूपमकारपरब्रह्मोम एतदथर्वशिरो योधीते प्रातरधीयानो रात्रिकृतं पापन्नाशयति सायमधीयानो दिवसकृतं पापन्नाशयति माध्यन्दिनमादित्याभिमुखो दीयान पञ्चपातकोपपातकात् प्रमुच्यते सर्ववेदपारायण पुण्यं लभते नारायण सायुज्यमवाप्नोति नारायण सायुज्यमवाप्नोति य एवं वेद इत्युपनिषद ओम शांति 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 ओम शांताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभांगं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिहृद्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथं यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यः मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः हरि ओम वंडरफुल डे ऑफ श्री कृष्ण अवताराष्टमी कृष्ण का जन्म तो होता नहीं भगवान इज ऑलवेज इटर्नली देयर so though it is called as Janmashtami popularly good if you say Janmashtami it intends that he was not there earlier he took Janma that day. If you can say it is Avatara Ashtami or Prakatya Ashtami, so we can say that he was eternally there. And on that day, the Ashtami of the Bahula, that time Bhagwan expressed specially. He is Bhavami, always there. Some Bhavami, specially expressed with his some powers to accomplish some of the Leelas, only to prove that he is eternally there and comes whenever it is required to do whatever it is required. Now, Bhagavan Sri Krishna or Rama Avatara Prakatya Divas. So, first to remember that Lord's presence. Second, go through the Puranas, Itihasas of the entire Leela of the Lord. From that, learn only three things. One, how he conducted outside with the world. Absolutely selfless, absolutely loving, absolutely kind, compassionate, absolutely only in one idea of serving the whole world. If this is learned from Sri Krishna Bhagavan's avatara or Rama avatara or any of the devatas, then one third of avatara Ashtami or Janmashtami we have celebrated. Second thing is what? How was Lord Krishna in his own heart? Because people can be kind, compassionate, loving, service oriented, seemingly outside. But what it is there in their antahkarana, that calmness, that peace, that balance, that loving heart. He was always having these things maintained in his heart. So if this also we can observe and if we can learn it, then our second third of Avatara Prakatya Janma Ashtami of Sri Krishna celebrated. And it should be all the time, not only on this day of Bhagavan's Prakatya Divasa. Then the third one, while going through the outer drama and inner management, what exactly he is rooted in. If you can think about it, he was always rooted in Sachidananda Rupaya Vishwotpatyadi Hetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Sri Krishnaya Vayannumaha. Is always rooted in that Sat Chit Ananda Brahma Swarupa. Throughout Bhagavad Gita, throughout Bhagavad Mahapurana, throughout Bhagavan Krishna's Leela's Charitra, this is what, if we want to catch his essence, can be seen. And this outer service is called technically Shastriya Bhasha, the Karma Yoga Jivanam. The inner maintenance of peace, kindness is the Prema Yoga because he is the Lord, and for you and I, it is Bhakti Yoga for the Lord. And the third one, being rooted in the absolute self, absolute nature, is called the Jnana Yoga Sadhana for us. For Bhagavan, he is a Siddhi. He is always in the Jnananubhuti of Swarupa. He is always in the Premanibhuti for the world he has created. And he always dynamically engaged in the Sevanubhuti of the world, which is his own expression. And without jnana, the prema cannot come. Without prema, the seva cannot come. Without jnana, prema, seva, the fulfillment cannot come. And only when that jnana is of ekameva dvayam brahma, that the prema will be nishkalmasha without any, what do you say, nishkama. It can be nishkama. Only then the seva is called as seva. Otherwise, the seva with expectation is vyapara. Then prema with impurity is called as asakti. Then the jnana with the seeing or vision of duality is on the name of jnanam. It is ajnanam only. So in this way, all avatars of the Lord, in and through their leelas, what they depict or demonstrate or teach to a very sublime observer, a keen student of Bhagavan's avatara are these three. And while doing all that, all the expressions of the Lord is through the Prakriti. Therefore, that Prakriti is always kept under check. That is done through the Yoga Sadhana. So, in this way, Bhagavan Jnana Anubhava Yogi, Prema Anubhava Yogi, then Yoga Anubhava Yogi. So, too, the Seva Anubhava, Karma Yoga Anubhava Yogi. Every of the avatara is like that. So, too, any of the Mahatmas who have experienced Paramatma Tattva, they also are like this in the world. Some of them show one aspect aggressively, others show the other ones, but all carry all of them. Some Mahatmas you see serving the world, that is in a Karma Yoga Rupa you see. Some you can see only living and teaching the Chittavritti Nirodhadi Yoga. Some just revel in Prema Bhakti Yoga, highlighting that only. And some others establishing and teaching the establishment of the Jnana Yoga. Some rare specific yogis are there, like Puja Gurudev and all. They balance all the four in there and demonstrating to the world, and those are able to see their expression. So today's our Janmashtami is a special day where we remember Lord Krishna's name, his Rupa, is all Leelas while he was in Avatara, and see all that purely, absolutely from the spiritual standpoint of eliminating all the negative from within and reinforcing ourselves with the positive. And what is negative? Which blocks our own inner self from our own experience. What is positive? Which enhances, helps in the revelation of our own inner self to ourselves. In that way, through that slowly, Upasanadhi, uh, like 10th skanda we are studying evening, that topic is Nirodha only. That Nirodha alone is we are studying again Yoga Darshanam. and through the vritti nirodha. What is that after yoga chitta vritti nirodha? Tada drashtu swarupe avastharam. And a drashta swarupa is what we are studying in our Taittiriya and Upanishad. After the experience of it, what is the expression outside? Expression outside is being one with the Lord, serving the world. That's what we are studying in our evening Bhagavatam and our Adhyatma Ramayana. So Bhagavata, Adhyatma, Ramayana are the outer expressions. The morning Taittiriya and Mundaka are the experiences, and then the Yoga Darshanam is our sadhana. So in this way, every day we are in fact beautifully going through what Lord expects from us. So let us focus through the Janmashtami Adi Leelas more and more onto the subjective self with the help of the objective leelas of the Lord or the teachings of the Lord. If that is done, we are slowly understanding deeply the purpose of Lord's avatara and purpose of celebrating the Lord's arrival. So let Krishna happen in his pristine Sachidananda Rupa in all of us. Thank you. Now, in the evening, we'll do the Ashtottaram and all. The morning, only Upanishadic mantras. Thank you for your cooperation. Now, let us do our everyday's class of. In our Parayanam, let us do Abhaya Pradishta, the small portion. Om Asadva Idamagra Asita Tato Vai Sadajayata Tadatmanaggasvayamakuruta Tasmat Tat Sukrutamocchada Ide Yadvai Tat Sukrutam Raso Vai Saha Rasagahyevayam Labdvanandi Bhavati को ह्येवान्यात् कः प्राण्यात् यदेष आकाश आनन्दो न स्यात् एष ह्येवानन्दयाते यदा ह्येवैष एतस्मिन्न दृश्येनात्म्ये निरुक्ते अनिलयने अभयं प्रतिष्ठां विन्दते अथ सोऽभयं गतो भवते यदा ह्येवैष एतस्मिन्नुदरमन्तरं कुरुते अथ तस्य भयं भवति तत्त्वेव भयं विदुषो मन्वानस्य तदप्येष श्लोको भवति ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः ॐ निधये सर्वविद्यानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ॐ शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् ॐ सुकृतेऽधिकृते बहुधा भवतो भविता समदर्शनलालसता अतिदीनमिमं परिपालय मां भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम् ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं दत्तमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तन्नमामि ॐ परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्तब्रह्मविद्या आचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः श्रीवेदव्यासवैशम्पायन याज्ञवल्क्य आद्यशङ्करादिगुरुभ्यो नमः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधसिद्ध्यर्थं पुराणेतिहासोक्त भगवद्भागवत ऋषिमुनिगुरुदेवतानां दर्शनानुग्रहानुभव आनन्द भक्तिज्ञानवैराग्यादि साधनानाम् अनुभवप्राप्त्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकहैन्दवसंस्कृतेः साम्प्रदायानां शास्त्राणां गुरुशिष्यदेवताभक्तपरम्परायाः पुनरुत्थानपुनर्जागरणविश्वव्याप्तिद्वारा विश्व आध्यात्मिकप्रगतिद्वारा विश्वशान्तिकल्याण एकता प्राप्त्यर्थम् अस्मिन् कर्मणि धर्म संस्थापक कर्मणि निष्ठित समस्त भक्त साधक सेवक धर्म संस्थापकानाम अस्माकं सह आयुरारोग्य क्षेम स्थैर्यादि प्राप्ति सत्शक्ति सत्साधना अनुकूलता संपदा प्राप्ति बाह्य अभ्यंतर शत्रु विघ्न निर्मूलन द्वारा अस्मि धर्म संस्थापन कार्ये दिग्विजयार्थम श्री कृष्ण यजुर्वेदांतर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषदः श्रीयाद्य शंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययनं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। ओम यस्माज्जातं जगत् सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदन्धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः। यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं। तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरचयिनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते। ओम शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः। नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मावादिशं ऋतमवादिशं सत्यमवादिशं तन्मामावीत् तद्वक्तारमावीत् आवेन्माम् आवेद्वक्तारम्। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम अथ तृतीया भृगुवल्ली दशमोऽनुवाकः। ओम स यश्चायं पुरुषे यश्चासावादित्ये स एकः स य एवं विद अस्माल्लोकात् प्रेत्य एतमन्नमयमात्मानमुपसंक्रम्य एतं प्राणमयमात्मानमुपसंक्रम्य एतं मनोमयमात्मानमुपसंक्रम्य एतं विज्ञानमयमात्मानमुपसंक्रम्य एतमानन्दमयमात्मानमुपसंक्रम्य इमान् लोकान् कामान्निकामरूप्यनुसञ्चरन् एतत् सामगायन्नास्ते हा हो हा हो हा वो अहमन्नमहमन्नमहमन्नम् अहमन्नादो अहमन्नादो अहमन्नादः अहग्गश्लोककृदहग्गश्लोककृदहग्ग श्लोककृत् अहमस्मि प्रथमजारुतास्य पूर्वं देवेभ्यो अमृतस्य ना भाई यो मा ददाति स इदेव मा वाह अहमन्नमन्नमदन्तमाद्मि अहं विश्वं भुवनमभ्यभवाम सुवर्णज्योतिः य एवं वेद इत्युपनिषद। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्ति शान्तिः शान्तिः। Respected friends, in this Bhrugu third Valli, we have seen almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mantras, in which first how to live life outside with the things and beings was taught to us by Nakanchana Vasato ityadi mantras. Then we were told to do definitely to change our inner vasanas from undivine, ungodly, non Brahman to the Brahman by doing the Manushi Samajnaha and the Daivi Samajnaha. In fact, this last 10th Anuvaka of Bhrugu Valli is essence of not only Taittiriya Upanishad, but it is essence of all the Upanishads, essence of all the sadhanas to be done and the goal to be reached. Then once that was done, the Phala Shruti Yukta, again Brahma Upasanas were told in those six of the things. And in those six things of Tat Pratishtet Upasita Ityadi, very subtle meaning is indicated to indicate to us that the substratum of whatever we see is that only. And that substratum alone is real always. And all that which is seen is superimposition. Superimposed are always unreal. Between these two, what we choose decides what we experience or live. So pratishteti upasita, then maha iti upasita, then mana iti upasita, then nama iti upasita, then brahma iti upasita, then brahmana parimara iti upasita. These are very sublime upasanas. Very deep, very important. A very mature seeker comes to this level to do these very sublime upasanas to eliminate all deep rooted inner obstructions, obstructing the experience of the innermost self. Each of them have great consequence when practiced. Just like the earlier six upasanas of Brahma, of Daivi Samajnaha, so to the five upasanas of Brahma, the Manushi Samajnaha. In the Upanishad, we always think okay, there is nothing to do. My dears, these are the sadhanas to be done. Then only the experience of the self, where there is nothing to do, will come later on. Without these earlier practices, the revealing of the always existing self cannot be experienced. That is why anticipating that we have done all these upasanas and fully became ourselves qualified, prepared, that Bhagavan Adi Shankara took up after this thing the Prashna Uttari in the form of the Purva Pakshi and Siddhanti Prashna. And in those 7 8 questions also, after one that way prepares oneself in his Bauddhika Avagahana and practice that everything is Brahman, still we have to go to the experience. At the experience level, even the final traces of the presence of anything other than Paramatma should not remain. They have to be uprooted. And that uprooted happens in the abundance of self. For the abundance of the self, the intellectual deep conviction is required to remove the deeply rooted the presence of something other than Paramatma. And that is why, through these question answers, if you really observe, deeply observe, keenly observe, what is finally concluded, straight away we come to that, is what, if you see it toward the end of this Bhashya, before the beginning of Sayaschayam Purushe mantra and its Bhashya, how did, after answering to that question of the Kapila Kanadi, their Siddhanta will be refuted, they will become miserable. To that, what he gave answer, Acha ho gaya, they should become miserable, frustrated only because neither they have the Mula proper nor they are following the Veda, they are doing Veda Virodha, and therefore they are only living a Bhranti. Therefore, they have to suffer only. Having concluded his last questions, last answer like that, the total conclusion of entire Prashnottari, total conclusion of entire Bhruguvalli, total conclusion of all the three Valli Yukta Mundak Taittiriya Upanishad and all Upanishads is only this one line. This is the take home point. Carry home point is this one. Very, very essential. Very, very great. And what it is? Ki Shruti Upapatti cha Siddham. Through the Shruti, the Shastra, the Upapatti with all the logical thinking, analysis, etc. Siddham. What finally achieved or concluded is this one. What is that? Atmanaha asamsaritvam. That the self has never became samsari, needing to do any sadhana to become the asamsari mukta purusha. Dekho, to come to this understanding was the purpose of the studying of entire Upanishad, which we have almost spent 480 days. And that also for those who are at the level of readiness to receive the Upanishadic teaching or knowledge. And to come to this level, before that, we have to go through the yoga sadhanas, we have to go through the bhakti sadhanas, we have to go through the karma yoga sadhanas, we have to go through the dharma yoga sadhanas, and lower lesser than the dharma yoga is the adharma bhoga, wherein with all unrighteous means in the world we are running for the bhoga of the objects of the world. The one who has come out of the adharma bhoga jivana into karma yoga sthiti, after that, that from there the one who has come into the prakriti or vritti nirodha yukta yoga sadhana sthiti. Each of them require some lives for us to go through to purify, refine ourselves. Then after that, going through the bhakti yoga sadhana for some years, the one who that way purifies, he becomes qualified for the Tattva Chintana with the help of the Upanishadic teachings. And for those who have come up to this level, to them, this is what is the study right from the Shiksha Valli, Shiksham Vyakya Syamaha. From that onwards, Brahmavida Apnoti Param. Through that, Bhrugurvai Varunihi. In each of the Vallis, to a completely matured Jignaso, the guidance is given to discover what, this only one thing, ki siddham atmanaha asamsaritvam. So discovering the self which was never samsari, or discovering the fact that the samsara never has touched the Paramatma, or discover the self which is without samsara, or discover that the self has never samsara. Then what is the whole drama? Drama is suffering only. What is suffering? Samsara only. What from the samsara and sorrow has come? Not in the non discovery of this fact. What exactly we are studying in our Yoga Darshana Shastra also nowadays. So, therefore, what is there here? The whole Vedanta spirituality is that there is nothing, specially gained. We are already the gained object of the subject, the self, which has never gone through any samsara. Then what's the problem? Not knowing that I am that. Like the dreamer, waker never became the dreamer to suffer. Then where from the dream world has come? Only in the non-recognition of the waker in whom there is no dream world at all. Is it not? In the non-recognition of the waker, to be not at all having any dream in him is the cause for the appearance of a projection of the entire dream world and dream anubhavas of samsara of the karta bhokta sukha dukkha ityadi. That's it. Therefore, here also, because of the avidya of ourselves, to be never bound, Atma is the cause of all the bondages that were happening to us, as if not really. Today we will see in Yoga Darshanam also exactly the same thought conveyed. So then everything, where has it come from? It has only come from non-realizing our eternal, immutable, Satyam Jnanamanantam Brahma Atma in our Anubhava. The truth, the reality can never have any samsara in it, for there is no other thing other than it to create a samsara in it. We have to abide in that self. Little we slipped from it, the whole power of delusion Maya comes and it creates the duality multiplicity. In the duality multiplicity, the Bhokta or Bhogya, Bhokta and Bhogya, or Drashta and Drashya, or Ishvara or Jiva, or Karya and Karana, or the subject and object, entire dichotomy in a split moment time is projected, leading to the endless world of samsara suffering. See, just like that, little slipped away from the ram waker, entered into the dream world, and see the whole dream world is projected. And in that projection, the dreamer goes through what an amount of variety of experiences of sukha, dukkha, kartrutva, bhoktrutva, shatrutva, mitrutva. Is it not just slipped from I am waker to the dreamer level? Endlessly it is. And where did it end up? The whole dream world, big dream world of so many doings, experiencings, happenings, all of them end only in one thought, Ki I am the Veka, in whom there was never a dream. In the same way, in the absence of Aham Brahma Asmi, Aham Satyam Jnanamanandam Brahma Asmi Anubhuti, from that little bit slipped the whole world of this multiplicity where I versus the world has begun. And it has no end. It will never end. Dream can never end unless the waker is realized. Full stop. Unless the waker is realized. So too, the whole world of samsara of me versus the world. And the world is persecuting me. I am desiring the world. The desired world is not coming to me, and the world is punishing me. All this nonsense is only in the ignorance of one Paramatma and substratum for both the me, the world. That is the meaning here of key final word of Siddham Atmana Asamsaritvam. Where is the samsara to the self, which is one without second. So all our attention should be now from the outer world to our own selves, from our own self, from the pseudo self to the real self. And this should happen first in the intellectual understanding, for which we need to study Shastras under the guidance of our gurus for many, many years, decades, even lives. Even to come to that level of grasping what is said by the teacher itself takes a decade of listening. After collecting that data, only our independent inquiry on the seat of that inquiry or contemplation we can start, which makes that knowledge ours. Just like we gave order in a hotel, so only we gave the order. The thing is not yet made or brought. This is at the level of the teacher giving us all the upadesha. But whatever order placed, if all the things are brought onto the table of our su, then it is the level of our own collecting the data given by the Guru about the truth and starting to contemplate. You know, through that contemplation, coming to our own convictions and doing the due sadhana of Vyatireka and Anvayo, then experiencing the all pervading self, and other than that, there is nothing real, is the consuming of those things which are ordered, and actually you are experiencing what you wanted to. So, you wanted to experience some food item. You ordered, it came, you owned it, but it came and you owned it doesn't give the experience. You have ordered is coming to the class. It came is the class is given to us by the Guru, the Upanishadic Jnanam. Then we have to do the inner sadhanas of Manana Chintana Anubhuti, that is called as consuming that food. ऑर्डर देना अलग है, it is coming onto the table, you are the owner of it, then you eat it and experience. So we have desired the knowledge, we went to the Guru taught us, and we have contemplated. None of these things will help us, Only the consuming of that thing gives us final taste. In the same way, that Brahman which is said as Satyam Jnanam Anantam, that which is said as Asamsari, is me. So I am that Asamsari, Satyam Jnanavanantam Brahma, not the ignorance born, the samsari jiva of a sukha dukha, going through from one upadhi to the other from millions of lives. So this is what is the main lesson to be grasped, to be contemplated, not once for many times. So how much poise we have to have for that, how much of the vivek and vairagya from the world we have to gain. For that, how much thinking we have to do that what we are doing is not necessary. And there are all obligations, compulsions, so many of the things which are there, given to us by the Shastra only for the social obligations. And all the social obligations of involving in the society with various identities, relativities are only till the point that we reach to the study of the Shastra, Tattva through the Shastra. है कि नहीं? हमको ना परमात्मा का ज्ञान होने तक सत्संग के द्वारा कि हमारे सारे बाहरी ऑब्लिगेटरी व्यवहार, उसके बाद हमारा पूरा ऑब्लिगेशन व्हाट द शास्त्रास आर टीचिंग, व्हाट द गुरु इज टीचिंग, इन अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ दैट वुड बी आवर मोर ऑब्लिगेशन देन एनीथिंग एल्स. Thereafter, even not is understanding, you have to become the obliged person to experience what is understood. In this way, when our attention truly, genuinely from the heart is withdrawn from the world into the inner sadhana without any complaints or regrets or feelings, genuinely, then we are truly theoretically understanding and practically also spiritually growing seekers. That is the meaning of when Lord says, the same Lord who just went on teaching Dharma karo, Dharma karo, up to the 18th chapter, 65th shloka. Same Lord to the same disciple at the same place with the same mouth speaks absolutely seemingly contradicting word called as Sarvadharman Parityajya. देखो, and what is that Sarvadharman Parityajya? Not go and be a lazy fellow. Mamekam Sharanam Raja. So, through becoming Sharanagata to me, getting that spiritual guidance from me, knowing me and you as one is the highest obligation, most important obligation than any other outer obligations. Outer obligations of dharma are there for you to purify. Once you discover that purity in you, that you have nothing to gain from anyone, nor to lose, nor you have depending on any of the objects for any of the sukha, so too the duties we have done and everything is not a duty, that also is discovered. Then sarvadharman paritejya sthiti. Outside as well as inside. Is it not? In that, so many very sublime things are there. Now, all of them will dilute our study of Upanishad. So, therefore, we will not talk. One of the important thing is what? People invite us very less who have that love and respect for us. Many invite us for their own safety, security, selfishness, and some social status or obligation. Okay? When we are needed there, definitely. When they truly love us, and they need something from us as a guidance. Only at that moment to fulfill that spiritual, socio obligation that we still have to attend. But once it is clear that by going there, only my mind is disturbing, and by going there, my relativity only gets disturbed, and by going there, nothing spiritual is conveyed to the people there. If these things are known, slowly, the reduction of the obligations we have to do. That is what is meant by the Lord when He says, Sarvadharman Parityajya. We are just studying because Janmashtami and relating with the final shloka of the Gita and relating it with our Upanishadic Adhyanam, relating with our own lives, spiritual evolution. And to this all sentiments, emotions are added. कोई हमारे साथ परमानेंट नहीं रहते हैं, सब का आउट ऑफ प्रारब्ध. एक टाइम होने के बाद आप पकड़ो भी तो चले जाते हैं, एक टाइम में आप छोड़ोगे भी तो नहीं पकड़ में आते हैं. Nice. These are all the things, these are all added information for this truth. And all of that will be, understood, explained by the Guru when the Shishya has accepted the first statement of the Guru blatantly without any ifs and buts. And what is the first statement of the Guru is only this: you have come as a human being onto this planet only to know yourself. To this first blatant sentence, all the questions which we raise, the answer to all those questions is the entire question, answer, and study and explanation. Just like in the Taittiriya, second Brahma Valli, ki Brahma Vidapnoti Param Sutra Vakya. Why and how is the explanation of O Satyam Jnananantam Brahma se lekar देखो यहाँ तक. That statement, when you have faith in, then the nature of the self is explained. From the standpoint of the self, the whole world is proved to be never existing apart and other from the world, Paramatma. After knowing Paramatma, you can play in the world as it is own yourself, your own self. Without knowing Paramatma, with all your love and service orientation, you'll be lost only in this world because it is not real other than Paramatma. So these are all explanations exhaustively given, receiving which we finally know that our only obligation, only duty, only service is first in knowing our own self. Such one becomes naturally Paramaviragi, naturally Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampanna Adhikari, naturally a genuine disciple of the Guru, naturally he does effortlessly the Guru Upasadanam, and then there naturally surrenders to the Guru, makes the Guru happy, and naturally, effortlessly, he receives the Upadesha from the Guru called Shravanam, then naturally he can do the Mananam, Nididhyasanam, all of that becomes smooth without any kantaka or any of the obstructions for that person. And for all of us, at every level, we hiccup. है ना, जब खाने के टाइम जिसका गला नमक पेट सब ठीक ठाक है फटाफट आराम से खाएगा. अब जिसको हर एक मॉर्सल पे हिकअप्स हो रहे हैं तो यू कैन नॉट ईट द फूड ऑन. फॉर अस एट एवरी क्लास एवरी मोमेंट देयर हिकअप्स. Our main food is doing the Adhyatmic sadhana. Hiccups are every moment the worldliness is pulling us. है ना, साधना करना चाहते हैं the world pulls us. Again करना चाहते हैं the world pulls us. In that way, we are hicking up more than rising up in our sadhana. So all that also goes away when we are genuine in our thinking understanding and when we have the guts and courage to give up what can be should be given up and take up what is to be taken up. All the maturity, irrespective of our age, etc., depends only on these two things. You have understood what is to be given up. Have you understood what is to be taken up? Giving up, taking up is the whole samsara and sadhana. The samsara is giving up the Lord and taking up the world. And sadhana is giving up the world, taking up sadhana. That's called sarvadharman parityaja, that is giving up. Mamekam sharanam raja, that is taking up. So in that only all our maturity is proved. वो maturity कभी आती है कभी जाती है because of a lot of mal insight. Therefore, the regularity of listening, regularity of contemplation, each reasoning and each contemplation is like one hit for the by the hammer to the nail for it to pierce into the wall. है ना, एक एक क्लास में एक एक श्रवणम एक एक मननम at home are the ones which establish in this the knowledge. Dhire 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 dhire. That's why the need of consistency of the listening, so that we clearly come to know finally that what is to be given up, what is to be taken up. So संसार को छोड़ो, साधना को पकड़ो. संसार हेतु को छोड़ो, असंसारी आत्मा को पकड़ो. बंधन को छोड़ो, मोक्ष को पकड़ो. दुख को छोड़ो, सुख दुख को, आनंद को पकड़ो. So this is how it is. So तेषां मूलाभावे वेद विरोधे च भ्रान्ततो उपपत्तेः. Therefore श्रुति उपपत्तिभ्याम च सिद्धम् आत्मनः असंसारित्वम्. Then another one. The final one is what? Ekatvat cha. Because the Brahman, Atman is one without second. What who and can create any samsara for it? Okay, either samsara should come from within or samsara should come from without. For both samsaras to come from within or without, there should be duality. In the two only there is samsara. Therefore, ekatvat cha, because of the ekata also, there is no samsara in pure Paramatma. Ever, even at the time of the seeming samsara, like even at the time of the dream, the waker alone is real. In him there is no dream. Even at the time of watching or seeing the snake, never ever the snake happened in the rope. Rope alone is rope. It is immaculate, untouched. So too in our delusionary life of samsaritva also, there is no samsara to me, the pure self. Thank God. Otherwise, the self को संसार लग गया तो छूटेगा ही नहीं, वो छूटेगा नहीं तो मोक्ष ही नहीं आएगा. So, by saying this ekatvat, what is intended it is, therefore, discover that ekameva advayam brahma, that is the only way for avoiding the samsara. Therefore, dvaita is samsara, advaita is moksha. Anekata is samsara, ekata is the moksha. This is how you have to catch it. Ekatvat cha. एकत्व का कारण परमात्मा में संसार नहीं है. Therefore, अनेकता को एकता के द्वारा हम जब छोड़ देते हैं तो the samsara gone away. When the samsara goes away, what we experience is moksha. So, katham ekatvam, how do you say the ekatva of Paramatma? Ide uchyate. This is what is said, a repetition of the mantra, which was already said in the second Brahmavalli also. What is that? Three times chant karo. Sayat tasayashchayam purushe yascha savaditye sayekaha. Again, sayashchayam purushe yascha savaditye sayekaha. Again, sayashchayam purushe yascha savaditye saekaha. Okay, this mantra, as I told you, was the one which was maximum described and explained in our Brahmavalli. It came into that na that Saekaha. So saha यः इति निर्दिश्यते कः असौ अयं पुरुषे यः च असौ आदित्ये यः परमानन्दः श्रोत्रिय प्रत्यक्षः निर्दिष्टः यस्य एकदेशं ब्रह्मादीनि भूतानि सुकार्हाणि उपजीवन्ति सः यः च असौ आदित्ये इति निर्दिश्यते सः एकः भिन्नप्रदेशस्थ घटाकाश एकत्वतु ननु तन्निर्देशे सयश्चायं पुरुषे इति अविशेषतः अध्यात्मं न युक्तः निर्देशः यश्चायम dakshine akshan. So from there, the grossest question onwards, the subtlemost question, there also the Purva Pakshi was going on asking, the Siddhanti was answering. Statement and the literal meaning of the statement is very easy. It's only the dictionary meaning. But accepting it requires a lot of thinking and inquiry. And what enhances the thinking inquiry is the questioning ability. So, to the Siddhanti always Lakini, the Purva Pakshi is there to put up the genuine, valid, beautiful questions. And while answering to all those questions, the Siddhanti establishes that simple literal meaning beyond any doubt. What is the literal meaning of this sentence? In the earlier Valli also, and here also is what? Sa yaha cha ayam purushe yaha cha aditye saha ekaha. Okay? That Parabrahman who is there in this Purusha. Saha yaha cha ayam purushe. साधक में जो है यह च असौ आदित्य, the one who is in that aditya, the Purusha, the one, the truth who is there in that aditya. सो जो मैं अपने आप को जीव मानता हूं मेरे अंदर और वो ईश्वर रूपी वो आदित्य में जो है स एक इज वन ओनली. Therefore, on that one Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, truth, the Aditya and here the Purusha are projected. So when these two are said, means we have to understand everything else also. All the multiplicity, all the duality is superimposed on one Paramatma. Here, the Aditya and Purusha are the indicators to say that the Karana and the Karya, the Samashti as well as the Vyashti, the ruler, the Ishvara, the ruled, governed, the Jiva, the Drashta, Drishyam, the subject as well as the object. These two are on one Paramatma only. They are expressed or superimposed. They by themselves don't have their own individual strength or power to sustain their own. The same thing is in Chandogya in the form of Tattvam Asi. Here, Sayashchayam Purushe Yascha Savaditye Saha Ekaha. सो द कारण में और कार्य में दोनों में एक ही परमात्मा, ईश्वर में जीव में दोनों में एक ही परमात्मा, द ऑब्जेक्ट में सब्जेक्ट में दोनों में एक ही परमात्मा है, द समष्टि में द व्यष्टि में दोनों में एक ही परमात्मा है. On him this duality, and not knowing that one principle, we were giving value to this duality and suffering. प्लीज रिमेंबर, कारण एक कारण, उस कारण से many karyas are imagined. Out of so many karya, one is our own Panchakosha. First we identify with it and go through all limitations of it. Then we are afraid of the karana, ki he may punish me for all the good or bad things done. Then from that karana, like me, the millions of other karyas also are imagined, called as the co-travelers of us with us in the form of other jivas. And with them again, with the Panchakosha Upadhi, establishing various relations, and through those relations, the reflected happiness we try to get to. All that is samsara. देखो, this is what the drama is going on happening. So one pure Parabrahman not known, then the Ishvara has come, Karanam, and the Jagat and Jivas have come, the Karyam. And in this Jagat and Jivas, one Jiva is me, with identify with these five koshas. Then this Panchakosha limitation, suffering, I am going through. Then the sense of far offness from the Ishvara, I am suffering. What is the farthermostness of the suffering up from the Ishvara is when I need him, he doesn't come to me. Suffering. And whenever he comes only to give me sufferings. डर 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 रहते हैं क्यों? क्योंकि he comes to punish me when I do wrong. तो ईश्वर से आशा होता है, ईश्वर से भय होता है. आशा की डिजायर फुलफिलमेंट, वो फिर उसमें डाउट्स है, will he fulfill my desire or not. Then from the Ishvara there is always fear that he is a terrible tyranny, punisher also for all the mistakes, and I know I have done mistakes. He also knows I have done mistakes. So Nirantara desire and fear with the Lord will be there. Desire of. So too the world other than me. In the objective world also, such a pathetic life, see, from the dead matter of the worldly objects, we the sentient being seeking the happiness to such a level that we become slaves to them. Imagine the level of the delusion we have fallen to. From the dead objects of the world, we are seeking happiness, we the Chaitanya beings, and getting disappointed and kicked by them. No, we have to have a lot of subtlety to think this way. Lot of calmness in mind, quietness in the mind. Just like night, ऐसे विचार नहीं आते हैं. Then with the other beings of the same world, who are equally ignorant like us, equally self insufficient, equally limited with their own upadhi, and struggling for their own sukha like us, on depending on other objects and the people, and from them we are seeking again happiness. How pathetic, how miserable. It is like one fellow is drowning in the ocean or in the flood, other fellow wants him to help him. अरे वो खुद ही डूब रहा है और वो तुमको कैसे हेल्प करेगा? Imagine that thing. ऑलरेडी डूब रहा है और मिस्टर डूबे पी के डूबे खुद ही डूब गए हो, एंड हाउ कैन ही हेल्प यू टू कम आउट? द वंस हु आर ऑन द शोर्स, they can help us, the NDRF and rescue team, and they are the gurus. So instead of seeking permanent happiness through the bhakti jnana under the guidance of the guru and get liberated, we are running behind the things and beings of the world for the temporary happiness. And in that, the struggle is permanent, then the disappointment and misery is permanent. And yet, सुनने में बुरा लगता होगा, लेकिन सुन लो आज जन्माष्टमी के दिन, एंड येट हमको शर्म नहीं आता that we are getting kicked by this world of things beings. फिर भी हमको कभी शर्म नहीं आता कि भाई इसको छोड़, गुरु को पकड़, गुरु के द्वारा अपने अंदर का ही आनंद स्वरूप, चित स्वरूप, सत स्वरूप परमात्मा को पकड़ो. So जिस दिन ये सब समझ में आने लगते हैं ना, that means our regular listening of Shastra, Chintananda Shastra is starting to work. Like when the medication starts given in a day or two, if the improvement in that patient is seen, what do we say? Oh, okay, दवाई काम कर रहा है, कि धीरे धीरे बंदा रेस्पॉन्ड कर रहा है. In the same way, when these sublime things effortlessly, joyfully understood and accepted, there's no sentiments, there are no emotions, there are no any type of causing harm to anyone, nor any inner suffering. These are all question of non-understanding and understanding. Truly, rightly, genuinely, when I understand, there's no pain in giving up the things to be given up, and there's no struggle in taking up the things to be taken up. Spirituality brings us to this level of maturity only. So, sayaschayam purushe yascha savaditye saikaha. This is the crux of this entire Upanishad. Okay? Everything, Brahma Vidapnoti Param itself is a very highly inspiring Sutra Vakya. Satyam Jnana Ananta Brahma is the one which guides us to what you have to discover. So too, the very many Mahavakyas in this Upanishad time and again have come for us to contemplate on. Like Tat Srishtva Tadeva Anupravishatu. Each of these sentences are powerful. Adrushya Anatme Anilanine Anirukte Abhayapradishtam Vindate. That is another powerful sentence of this Upanishad. They're all very punchlines, powerful lines. If one can remember them. Then toward the end, this one. It has come 2 times. You can take therefore it has come 2 times ना. इसको आप टाइटल सॉन्ग के लिए लिख सकते हैं, है ना? एक एक सिनेमा का टाइटल सॉन्ग होता है कि नहीं? उस सॉन्ग में उस सिनेमा का नाम आ जाता है. So therefore the तैत्तिरीय उपनिषद का टाइटल क्या है? Here the ब्रह्म ज्ञान, उसका सॉन्ग क्या है? ये वाला. स यश्चायं पुरुषे यश्चासावादित्ये स एकः. So that Purusha who is there in me, the Jiva, that Purusha in Aditya is Eka. Therefore, that Eka is reality. On him, the Aditya and me, the two are projected. So when the example of Aditya and me are given, means what? Everything. Very farther than the farthest thing, nearer than the nearest thing. Bigger than the biggest thing, smaller than the smallest thing. Brighter than the brightest, the darker than the darkest. Means all which are of the contrast nature, different in nature. Anything that is there in the world, dual, all the dual is superimposed on the non-dual Brahma. This is what we have to come to the understanding. Then trying to abide in that non-dual self, not only on the seat of meditation, by transcending the koshas, etc., even while living in the world also. When we can see, then we are doing true sadhana. उसी के लिए तो हमको वो जो दैवी मानुषी समाज्ञा है बताए इन गीता आदि शास्त्र, the vibhuti yoga was taught to us. स यश्चायं पुरुषे यश्चासावादित्ये स एकः. There is one Paramatma. So to this, Bhagavan Bhashyakara will not give any Bhashya because it was exhaustively for more than 15 pages in the form of Prashnottari. It was already given in the second one. Very exhaustive in the Brahmanavali. तो उसको आप वहीं refer कर लो. That's why he says, Sayaschayam Purushe, Yascha Savaditya, Sayekaha, Iti Evamadi, Purvavatu. The mantra being same, the commentary was already given. My friends, go and refer to that commentary. That is what is idea. Now comes this one more mantra. Saya evam vithu asmad lokat pretya etavannamayamatmanupasangramya ityadi etamaanandamayamatmanavasankramya. Then the important things, iman lokan kamani kamarupyan sancharan. Second, etat samagayan aste hau ityadi. So this mantra and its bhashyam we have to study. Then comes the next one, the अहमन्नम इत्यादि मंत्र, और उसको भगवान ने कैसे एक्सप्लेन किया. फाइनली अहम विश्वम भुवनम अभ्यभवाम सुवर्ण ज्योति ये एवं वेद इत्युपनिषत्. So in our next 5 or 6 days we will be able to conclude it. So today with Lord Krishna Parabrahma in the form of that Avatara, we have invoked by His grace the main gist and summary of the Upanishad as a bird's eye view we saw, which is said in these two sentences. One is Atmanaha Asamsaritvam, second is Sayashchayam Purushe Yashchavasi Aditya Sayekaha. These are the very quintessences of all Vedanta. We try to delve a little bit on these two things. That was our effort today. Now you understand, कितना हमारे मन बुद्धि को हमें शार्प रख के चौकन्ना रख के तैयार करना है ना. There's a difference between a chowkidar or watchman who opens the door and closes the door, and a one who is protecting the nation at the frontiers or borders. है ना. अब एक गुर का वॉचमैन को क्या पाठ सिखाओगे आप? इतना काफी है भाई, कोई आएगा तो दरवाजा खोलो, कौन है पूछो और मुझे बताओ, मैं बताऊंगा आना है कि नहीं बैठना. मोर देन दैट व्हाट दैट वॉचमैन नीड्स. चौकीदार उतना ही बस काम है, बैठा रहेगा वो दिन भर. बट ऑन द बॉर्डर्स, what an amount of rigorous training given to them, alertness trained to them, देशभक्ति is taught to them, to the extent of जान भी कुर्बान देश के लिए, पूरा समर्पण. That's the difference between the life of samsara, which casually we live, and the alertness we need to develop when we have to when we have to grow spiritually. We have to prepare ourselves like an army person prepares before he is sent to the borders. We too, before we enter into the what you call our meditational heights for the true higher, सीमा सुरक्षा बल BSF. किसी को नहीं बिठाते हैं उधर. क्या ट्रेनिंग, क्या तगड़ा हमने क्या ट्रेनिंग लिया. Where did we listen to Guru thoroughly and lived life of Karma Yoga for 10 years, lived the life of Prema Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, and observed the result of that in the purification of our heart? Where did we understand the Yoga Darshana and did Vritti Nirodha consciously? Hare Baba, that person in the borders, he knows what time he has to get up consciously, 4 baje, how to prepare himself, how to load his gun or rifle with all the required bullets, what dress to wear, everything is thorough. And with what position of that rifle he'll have to stand in the bunker and aiming at the other borders of the enemy. क्या बढ़िया पर what have we done for our spiritual sadhana? देखा जाए तो just nothing only. Neither we even aimed at the first level of freeing ourselves from the slavery to the objects of the world, people of the world. After that only we can aim at coming out of the slavery to the देहोस्मि वृत्ति and व्यवहार. तभी जाकर धीरे धीरे अंदर जाएंगे ना. ये सब करने के पहले बात समझ में आना चाहिए. समझना है तो सोचना है, सोचना है तो डेटा चाहिए. So only the data reception level we are. Now you have to सोचना है, समझना है, धीरे धीरे बाहर से अंदर और अंदर से और अंदर अपने आत्मा में जाकर बैठना चाहिए. So may all it happen to us in this very life, for that whatever intense inner sadhana required, for that whatever the purity is required, let all that happen very soon to us. Om, 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 Om. Om, 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 Om. Om 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 Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. परमऋषिभ्यो परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे ओं तत्सत् ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु. श्री परब्रह्म भगवान की जय. श्रुति माता की जय. श्री कृष्ण परब्रह्म भगवान की जय. सद्गुरुदेव भगवान की जय. गुरु परंपरा गुरु तत्व की जय. आज के आनंद